Okay. I had to turn down cartoons. Kind of loud. So I am here to talk about something that I'm just off the top of my head thinking right at this moment, and that is introversion. I'm an introvert. I'm so introverted. And I'm a Christian. And the thing about being an introverted Christian is that um, Philippians 2. I'm just going to start reading Philippians 2 because it kind of is the one thing I can think about that kind of speaks about how you should be with people as a Christian. And so, is there any encouragement from belonging to Christ? Yeah, a lot, I think. Any comfort from his love? Sometimes, not every day. Any fellowship together in the Spirit? Are your hearts tender and compassionate? Not all the time, I have to admit. Then make me truly happy by agreeing wholeheartedly with each other, loving one another, and working together with one mind and purpose. Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Blah, 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 blah. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Boy, that's a tough one. Be humble, thinking. Oh yeah, I just read that. Don't look out only for your own interests, but take an interest in others too. You must have the same attitude that Jesus Christ had. Though he was God, he did not think of equality with God as something to cling to. Instead, he gave up his divine privileges. He took the humble position of a slave and was born as a human being. When he appeared in human form, he humbled himself in obedience to God and died a criminal's death on a cross. Therefore, God elevated him to the place of highest honor. And so there's a reason that you should be humble, right? Anyway, as an introvert, I tend to, and I don't want to go to parties. I don't like it when there's more than like a comfortable amount of people around me. If there's maybe like, I don't know, I was at like a life group, and the life group had a new couple that week, and that it just was hard for me to go through it. And I was in the center of the table, and there were people like on all sides surrounding me, strange people that I didn't really know, and the baby started making noises, so and she wouldn't shut up, so I had an out and I got out of there. But now I have to go to a Christmas party for work, for not my work but my wife's work, and she's had different jobs over the years, but they've all had like this Christmas party that I've always had to go to, and I always wish that I didn't have to go to it. And it's delicious food and it's fun atmosphere with people, and it's hard to get through it because, I mean, when you get there, it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. But like leading up to it, like my head, I started thinking about, just I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Anxiety just fills me when I'm at thinking about having to go, anticipating going, like all year long. It's just one day out of the year where we have to go to this party, and then up to driving to it the day of, the anxiety is like paramount. And then when we get there, it's like, oh, it's not that bad. It's not that big of a deal, and then we can get through it and stuff, and then at the end, it's done, and then the anxiety's gone, and then it starts over for a year long, and thinking about it like, oh, the next year's coming, we're gonna have this party. That's how crazy I get with the introvertedness. But this helps. It helps to think that Philippians 2, God's saying, just don't be selfish. Don't try to impress anybody. Be humble. Think of others as better as yourself. Take more thought about their interests, the other people's interests, than your own. And maybe this is just talking about the Philippian church and not like people who are unsaved, but I can't imagine that God would not want you to be a servant mind towards outsiders of the faith. So, going in there with the attitude that I want to listen to other people talk about their lives and not necessarily be talking about mine, because usually this is how it goes anyway. So, what do you do for a living? And I say, I'm a stay-at-home dad. And they're like, awesome, that's awesome. Oh, I envy you. That's usually how that goes. Tell ya, what's up? So anyway, being an introvert kind of sucks because I feel like there's more extroverts in the world than there are introverts. And that creates some problems because when an extrovert thinks that you should be like them, all extroverts tend to think that if you're not like them and you want to like be around people and be socializing and dancing all the time, if you're not like them like that, then you're some kind of freak, you're some kind of freak if you don't want to always be around people, talking to people, just thriving off of other people's stimulation of the environment. And instead you want to be alone at home reading a book or just not being at a Christmas party, that you're some kind of freak. You're some kind of killjoy or a fun hater. And it's almost like a form of discrimination for like a personality type. Because if there were more introverts, then the extroverts would be the freaks, And extroverts would be the minority. And then if you wanted to do anything other than read a book quietly at home, if you want to go socializing would be this whole, whoa, you're a freak. If you want to go to like an event where there's people and talking and food and socializing, if you want to do that, you're like an outsider. But anyway, this is the world we live in, and unfortunately, the people welcome Dopeo Olympus. It's your first time on YouNow. Welcome to my stream. Welcome to YouNow. I'm just kind of talking about stuff, about Christianity, being an introvert, etc. And I'm hanging out with my baby. How are you doing today? How's your life going? Hopefully it's going well. And it looks like you're not here anymore. That's okay. I tend to scare people away. That's fine. Well, if you're still here, I can't tell. It's fine if I scared you off. I understand. Like, I'm an introvert. I wouldn't want to come into my room and talk. Let's talk. Oh, I just want to talk. Oh, I'm such an introvert. I want to talk to you. I want to talk about your interests. So, yes, I've read articles about introversion, and there are Christians who, because the whole Susan Cain thing is kind of opening up the whole introverted thing. She does TED Talks and writes a book about it. I haven't read the book, but I'm sure it's a good book about being an introvert. But I read an article about a guy who read that book, and he said that, yeah, I feel like the book really spoke to me, and it was such a revelation of like who I am as a people, as a person, that and it was such a good book, but Christians shouldn't be introverts. Christians are called to go and like talk to people and just be out there. And I get that. You know, telling people about the message of Christ. I don't have a problem with that. Um, that's terrifying in its own way, right there. But he was saying that, you know, introverts don't really have any like foot to stand on because as Christians we're called to go out and just outreach. But I just think that God made a lot of people and he made them different. And some people are more extroverted, want to talk to people and chat people up all the time, and he made some people with different skills, abilities, thinking. And it's sheer hell when they're forced to have to go out and like socialize all the time when it's such a draining process to have to go out and talk to people. So maybe it's something different that they do. And I think that you should be more compassionate to yourself if you are an introvert and you just want to not talk to people so much. You're not a freak for wanting to be like that way. But extroverts would have you think differently and say that you're some kind of freak if you don't want to go socialize and stuff. Which I I see the irony of what I'm doing right now. I'm on a social network and I'm streaming live to people who might come into this room and talk to me. I'm like doing something that's very social, but the irony is that I'm an introvert and I don't like to, it freaks me out, you know, like the thought of having to go to a party or having to even do it like this stream, you know. I feel like I need to like go through this. It's hard for me to warm up to people. It is hard for me to warm up to people and to be the life of the party, the social engine that runs a social gathering. But I don't know what to say about that. If I'm not conveying a sense of warmth to people, then I just feel like, I don't know. I'm just not that good at it, and I don't always feel that way. So I don't know if anyone else has a problem with this thing. I feel like no one wants to talk about it, and it's kind of a controversial issue, and in a way that people that's the last thing that people want to do is talk about it. That particular thing. But I think it shrouds it in darkness, and then people have to like feel tortured by it privately. Private torture of an introvert. That's just sad. What's my baby doing? Hey, baby. Hey. Hello. It's almost nap time. 5 minutes to nap time. What else can I say? I think a lot of people, it takes them a while to warm up to other people and to have that warmth flowing in life. And I want to have that feeling, and I've had that feeling. It's just, for one, it's not something I chase a lot of the time. It's not like a huge priority. As an introvert, I'm more inclined to just want to chill by myself. When I used to drink a lot alone, and I'd go on to like Stickam. Stickam is a website that's no longer in existence, but it was a streaming site, and I met a lot of people, and we used to hang out, and I would drink with people on the internet, because you have complete control over the internet. If you don't want to be with a person, you can just turn it off and move on. But if in real life, sometimes you're stuck with a person and you can't get rid of them, and you're just being drained. Like if you get to the maximum boiling point of being drained as an introvert, you could just turn off the device and stuff and move on to something less social. But anyway, I think that I'm going to stop this stream. Not very many people are coming in anyhow. It's simulcasting on YouTube. So I'm also getting this as a video on there, and it's kind of encapsulating, if you will, my thoughts on introversion and what the Bible says about it. So I am going to go to this party in a couple days, armed with this information, to think of other people as better than myself, and to be humble and not selfish, and to think of them first, to really prefer them over myself, and not think of equality with God as something to be clinging to, but to just be others-centered instead of so self-focused and like what I'm going through, having to go to this party as an introvert, it's torture. But to think of like other people at the party and maybe just try to have fun in spite of the way that God made me feel on the inside about all these people at a party and what it means. But thank you. This has been therapeutic. To anyone watching the replay, there hasn't really been anybody in the chat room except for this one person who just came in for a second, left. Oh, it looks like someone else is here. No one's here. Okay. Well, 17 minutes. I don't really have anything else to say about it, except this has been therapeutic. And I hope that if you're going to a party in this Christmas season and you're an introvert and it's tormenting you, then just think of the other people. Be others focused, be humble, thinking of others as better than yourself. Don't look out only for your own interest, but take an interest in others too. And then before you know it, you'll be driving home from the party. I'm saying this to me. Okay. Merry Christmas. Have a good time at your parties. And I'll talk to you later. I'll wrap this up now. Goodbye.